just right. It's not going to get warm down here. I may have screwed up. Okay, let's get things back in shape. This one. That's that one. Right. Box jaws. Put them back. That goes up there. Okay. Shit, I don't have enough nails. This thing needs some love. I should do that more often. Okay. Earplugs. Drop the level. Getting there. Still a bunch of hammer marks to take out. It'll take me a little bit. These belts are thankfully taking off material, but there's a lot of material here. I need this blade to get light and thin. Oh, hey Skullbone, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Sorry if I didn't peek up there for a second. Hope you had a good New Year. Oh, that's not good. Most around here was fireworks. I didn't hear any small arms fire, so that's good. I apologize, tonight's not going to be a very exciting stream. Tonight is going to be the grinding stream that I've been putting off for a while because I was having too much fun making bottle openers. So I apologize, but that's what we're going to be doing today because I got to get this knife work done. Got to stop putting it off. is taking a good amount of metal off, thank God. Last year it was all fireworks. This year it was small arms fire. Well, that's a bit of a graduation, I guess. Trying to get this blade cleaned up to some extent and try to get all the hammer marks out of it. All those black spots you see there, I got to make go away. That's all the hammer marks or anything like that. So I got to take all that off before I can think about getting this thing ready for heat treat. I want this thing ready to go today. Well, not really polishing. This is still the initial grind. But getting out like all those black spots, like you can see them down by the blade there. You can see where the light doesn't reflect. That's basically from the hammering, you know, because I don't always hammer very flat. I mean, this grinder also doesn't take off a ton of material, so I have to hammer either crazy flat or I'm just going to have a lot of work to do on this grinder. So, oh, hey. How you doing, Bad Direction? Yeah, it's, I figure I got to get back to work. I took Tuesday off. Mostly because I was helping a friend move, but, you know, so technically I wasn't off. I was still working, but I wasn't at work, but I was working my ass off. And if he's watching, I'll throw him under the bus because, god damn it, he had a lot of books. Jesus Christ. If you have a friend who's a reader, never offer to help them move. Ever. I would not recommend it. Nice. First shady deal of the year, huh? Let me guess, Craigslist? It's where most shady deals go down. Sorry, guys. Cough is still a pain in my ass. It's getting there. I just knew this was going to take a while. But once I get it actually flat, it should be pretty easy to heat treat this thing. I have to remember to drill the tang holes too. It's been a while. I can't forget the order of operations here. Gotta drill the tang holes first. haven't done a grinding stream in a while. I'm missing out. Oh boy. What's your Craigslist like site called? I know in Australia it's Gumtree. What do you guys have? Craigslist is pretty awesome though. I don't care who says otherwise. That shit's handy as hell, man. Yeah, just get the hell out of there. It's a good idea. Self-perseverance can be a very strong emotion. And can totally outweigh the need for a $50 drill press. It's a shame. There's like this spot right here by the handle that's really, really low. I really overhammered that area for some reason. I don't know what I was thinking. Wicked waste. It was a shame when you see people wasting perfectly good anvils. I found a couple scrap places over the last couple of days while I was helping my friend move, so they're kind of out in the boonies, so I think I'm going to take a hike out there with him one of these days and see if there's any possibility of seeing what they have. Yeah, it's getting closer. Yeah, I hope so too, as long as I can keep my dumb ass safe down here. That's the main idea. As long as I don't light myself on fire. That's my New Year's resolution. Don't light myself on fire. He says as he's throwing sparks at his new apron, right? It's a welder's apron. It can take it. Thing's so friggin' heavy right now, this blade. It's such a good shape. I love it. Nice. Well, at least you got something out of it. And you walked away. Excuse me, walked away. This thing's a good shape and good size, but I really got to take some of the weight off of it. It's really thick and heavy right now. Oh, well, that's a cool name for it. Craigslist doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, other than the fact that a guy named Craig made the damn thing. I guess a guy named Craig made it. I don't really know the history. The site called Find makes a little more sense. They get rid of all the prostitution on your site? That was a huge problem with Craigslist. That's all it basically was. After a while, it just turned into nothing but prostitution on there, and it was kind of a shame. I assumed it was general. I assume if you open a site called Craigslist, your name would probably be Craig. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it was still an issue on Craigslist. It is pretty, though. Wow, that's a solid drill press. For me, I got a new one just because I needed something that had a deeper throat, because when I did the pens and stuff, when you drill through a pen blank, you need like a 2.5-inch throat on some of those pieces. And most drill presses don't actually have that unless you get a really, really old one. So you should be actually in really good shape. Well, yeah, that too. Mine's fortunately smaller. It kind of just goes up on the workbench. I don't have one of those monster floor models, thankfully. I probably wouldn't have had space for that. But they're fun. I mean, if that's the kind you have, the big full standing model. Mine just stands up on the workbench across the way. It's starting to come around. It's getting a little cleaner. Still some issues to get rid of. You can see them there. So a nice little piece down here I gotta clean up. This side's not as bad, some little stuff and some stuff by the tip. But I really want to get it close, and then I'm going to start working on the straightness, because it's not perfectly straight either. It's not really warped per se, but I want to get like the blade and the back edge really nice and square and straight, which will save me grinding when this thing's hardened up. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh wow, that's a monster, 68 inches. Jesus. Damn thing's as tall as me. Well, no, I'm 5'11". But that's a pretty that'll probably last you a damn long time. Gotta love the old tools. They really do work well. I mean, hell, my anvil's from the late 1800s. So mine is variable speed, even though it's a newer Craftsman. Newer in relative scheme of that. It's an older Craftsman. But it is variable speed. It's just belt driven. You just change the belts. Pretty easy. So you can adjust it and not burn metal. So getting there. Yeah, that stuff doesn't go cheap here. You know, it's I think a lot of it's because there is so much demand for old tools like that, especially with there's a big YouTube resurgence for like restoring tools, and I'm sure people are looking for good tools, especially because of like the Forge and Fire stuff. Everybody wants to have tools to work with to make stuff, so it's running the prices up. Because most of the other stuff people are buying and it's bought up. So they're like, well, I'm the only one left. I can sell this for whatever the hell I want. So it's a seller's market right now. Oh, nice. I don't know if I have I had an expanding thing on my lathe. I didn't like it. I mean, you didn't have to change the belt per se. You just moved it up. It was like the main drive side had like 1, 2, 3, 4 wheels that were all bigger to smaller. Then the other side was all smaller to bigger, and you just move it up or down. That was it. Pretty nice. I mean, I don't have to actually like change a thing, which is good. I just open the top and move it. No, yeah, I get you. I had a variable speed that was similar to that with my lathe. My old lathe, it had a very similar method, and it was okay. Just had issues. I don't know, that lathe was a problem. Thing gave me issues. Kind of glad to be rid of it, to be honest with you. I like my jet. It's only a mini, but without a full-size, heavy-ass stand lathe, you're not making anything big. So, alright, this is almost clear. I just have to get this spot done in the front. Yeah, look at that oil and shit on my hands. Awesome. Getting there. Let's do the back side right here. Nice. Well, 3 horsepower will do some work, that's for sure. That's probably what I'm going to get when I get my grinder. Definitely going to be a 3 horsepower, I think. I could have got the 2 horsepower variable, but I was like, nope, I want the 3. I don't want this thing to slow down or lag at all. This one's just lagging just from me trying to push a little, barely pushing on here, and it's lagging. I can't, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I had, my lathe did the same thing. You basically would adjust the size and it would move the belt in or out based on that. It was very similar to what I think you're talking about. I gotta start hammering things more flat to save myself time in the long run. Things feel flat until you start grinding them and you're like, wow, it's not flat at all. I don't have my phone, unfortunately, right now, so I can't really, I can't click on links. Well, yeah, I could on the computer, but my computer always has a coronary every time I try to do anything other than OBS. OBS is a resource hog. Especially on an old Windows 8 computer. This thing feels a lot lighter since I started grinding the other day. It's got a lot easier move. I like the handle, the recess that it has. Well, look, everybody says that, but I've had no problems with it. This computer's a horse. I don't think I've reset it in 3 months. I mean, it just works. It does what it does. It's just not super powerful. It was just an off-the-shelf computer, and I threw a GPU in it. So I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, I've had no problems with it. I hate Windows 10. Windows 10 can kiss my ass. I've had absolutely zero problems with it though. So that's why it's down here. The only problem I had with it was when I tried to upgrade it. Well, I didn't try to. It tried to upgrade itself to Windows 10. Wake up one morning and it was like, yo, we upgraded your shit. And I wasn't real happy about that, especially because it was bricked. I couldn't do anything. I had to fully undo the upgrade. It like bricked out in the middle of the process. I was like, this is awesome. Starting to get near the edge. Got a ways to go. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not a fan of it. My system upstairs is a Windows 10, but it's also a newer computer that was, probably designed a little more with Windows 10 in mind. But this one just didn't want to do the upgrade, so. But I've had no issues with Windows 8, despite what everybody yells about and says how much it sucks. I just haven't had any problems with it, so. Are you, have you gotten everything pretty much squared away, or are you still having issues? It's a tricky thing, especially with laptops, because laptops have a, notorious headphone and microphone jack that they like to have be the same thing at the same time. So you have to be careful about that, and that could have been part of your problem. It just usually loves to cause problems. Oh, it's USB. Okay. USB shouldn't have much of a problem. But then again, I don't really use the USB one. I just prefer the straight sound, straight in. So that's what I've used. I think it has a USB setup, but I don't use it actually. I just go straight in. Excuse me. I just go straight in with a 1/4 inch to 3 millimeter into the back of the computer. So it's in one channel, so I just down mix it to mono. Yeah. Um. Whatever you're okay. So here's my shot in the dark for this one. Go into your sound setting in your Windows. Go into your sound settings. Bring up the board once you plug it in. Bring up whatever the USB thing it's calling it as. When you and bring up the settings, and there should be a setting in there for monitor. To monitor what's going on, and I think that might be cutting out the audio. That may cut out the audio on the other stuff. So check that. I mean that's a good thing to start looking at. Especially since it's USB. That's kind of the problem. I'm not really so certain with that stuff. I go right into the little audio jacks. Because I think it behaves different than it's trying to do USB shit. So, but check it in your audio settings and see if it's telling it to monitor. Basically, the monitor is it's going to feed back whatever you're doing. So, if you turn that off, it might not want to do that. I'm spitballing here. You know, I'm in my basement. I'm not at your computer, but that's a shot I would recommend taking. You should be able to get it working no matter what. It shouldn't be a problem. That's my first guess. I wish I could offer you more. Welcome to Jesse's Tech Hour. And next time on the In Your Head podcast, we'll show you how not to grind a knife. Stay tuned. I should. That would be fun. Like I would take. That would be kind of fun if I was like forging and then do it as like a tech thing. Like have it on Discord and have them come up live on the stream and stuff. That would be fun. This is In Your Head Tech Talk. You're talking to Jesse. Go ahead. That'd be kind of funny. I can't afford a 1-800 number though. %90 of my show would just be me going, Google it. Next caller. Well, you got to make sure that when you set your TV, they sometimes have what's called overscan. So go into your TV settings and turn off the overscan. So even if it's on 1080, it can overscan and slightly bump it out. That'll be on your TV setting. So even if the HD is set up, it'll set up and it'll overscan and it'll just bump it out the outside edge. Try that as well. God damn, I do have a head full of useless knowledge. I bet that overscan thing would work though. It should be in the actual TV settings. So just go into your TV settings and somewhere in that menu or whatever, and somewhere in the video settings or something, there will be like an overscan. Turn that shit off and you should be fine. As long as it's 1080 and your laptop is putting out at 1080, it should be fine. It usually auto corrects it to the best resolution that it has. I'm spitballing though, so don't quote me. There could be other issues, but that would be my first guess. If it's only a little bit missing off this clock in the corner, that's my guess. So try that and then let me know. Next caller. Sorry, a little delirious, I'm hungry. Oh, that's Mr. Poopy Butthole. For the Rick and Morty fans out there, that's Mr. Poopy Butthole hanging around, keeping an eye on the shop. He is my little fun mascot. If you haven't watched Rick and Morty, why haven't you? Rick and Morty's a blast. And once you search for Mr. Poopy Butthole, you will get a ton of results. He's hilarious. He's one of the greatest characters in the series. He's a lot of fun. The whole series is a lot of fun. Check it out if you haven't. But my wife crocheted me Mr. Poopy Butthole up there. So he is hanging over and being the watchman of the shop. And once you see him, you'll understand where the ooh-wee came from. Ooh-wee. Whatever you say, Rick. We're here to help. I can actually bring Mr. Poopy Butthole down. Let me give this thing a break anyway. It needs a minute. This is Mr. Poopy Butthole. My wife actually crocheted this guy. Oh man, it's really bright. EFH, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy the Mr. Poopy Butthole. It's hanging around. I should just start moving him around the shop, but I don't have too many clean places to put him. But my wife crocheted this thing. I can't get him too close to the lights because it's bright as hell. But yeah, so he's a little guy from the show. If you watch the show, you'll definitely recognize it. Oh, well, he's a fun little character on the show. If I can get him to sit better. Yeah, he's just kind of peeking out of the helmet there. But he's a great part of the show. He's a lot of fun. So, but EFH, don't be afraid to drop a line in the chat. Please let me know you're here. Let me know if you have any questions. I will try to answer them to the best of my ability, which isn't always great, but it's ability. We're getting somewhere now, though. We're getting this thing pretty cleaned up. A lot of the hammer marks are gone. It's not really clean right now. Do I have something I can wipe this off with? So I want to take a close look at it myself here. I don't have a lot of cleaning products down here. I have a lot of stuff to make a mess. I don't really have anything to clean, though. Oh, here we go. I got some simple green in this thing. This will work. I'll give you a simple tip for anybody who has like firearms or anything that gets carbon buildup. Get yourself an ultrasonic cleaner from Harbor Freight or anywhere you can get a cheap cleaner, cheap ultrasonic cleaner. Put a mix of simple green and water in it and put stuff in there. And let me tell you, it does an amazing job. I would usually spend a long time cleaning out gun parts, things like that. You throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner, with the simple green, breaks that carbon right off. But Well, hey, I'm telling you, check out the show, you guys. You'll enjoy it, believe me. So there's where we're at right now. That's a little cleaner. It really, that's the Windex. That is not. But most of the stuff is gone. Most of the issues, if I can do it like that, you can actually see them a little bit better. You can see where the light gray marks are there. That's the stuff that I got to grind off. Same on this one. There's not nearly as much. There's more right here by the handle that I still got to get rid of, right there by my finger. But that's got to go. And that's really what I got to take care of. Once that's all cleaned up, the handle's pretty much clean and ready. I did a sort of raised handle on this one, which was something a little different that I've never done before. But with a knife like this, because it's going to be a kitchen knife, I want something that'll sit more comfortably in your hand. So as you set it, because you don't work with a kitchen knife like this, you work, well, especially a knife like this, a chopper like this, you set with your hand more up here to cut. So I like that little bit of raised support. It was something I wanted to try out, and I'll probably cut this thing loose in a kitchen with some guys that I know and have them test it for a little while and see what they can do with it. See what they think. It's nice having guys that work that like my cousin owns a store with a kitchen, and it's a restaurant. Yeah, that would make it a store with a kitchen. He owns a restaurant, so if I wanted to put a knife in there for a day and let them test it, he'd be like, "Yeah, here you go. You use this knife," and the guy will, take care of it for me. And I just want to have him, give it a run and see how it works and see how it feels and things like that. Because I mean, I could do a cookie cutter kind of thing and look up pictures and dimensions of stuff, but I kind of want to try so. I want to do different stuff. I don't want all my stuff to be just cookie cutter and and just the same stuff. I mean, this one's heavy, like this will chop, but I want to take a lot of that off because it is. I don't know how easy it is to see here, but it is pretty thick. I mean, it's dead straight, but it's just really thick on the spine. I want to take some of that weight off um, to kind of thin it out a little bit and just make it a little bit lighter and a little easier to use so you don't get any kind of fatigue. I mean, it's nice having something that'll fall through the piece. And if I could get it really thin, and I've got a lot of metal to work with, so I shouldn't have much of a problem. I don't mind a couple little blemishes on it, but there's some issues on here that I definitely want to clean up for sure. So let me get to this really quick. I thought I heard my phone go off. I did. I apologize, just sorting this out. Friend needs a little bit of information from me. Sorry about that. Everything else is going good. We're going good. I hope everybody had a good New Year. Um, Mine was spent helping a friend move, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Um, I'm just glad that he's in his new place and everybody's cool. It's nice having your own place when you move out from an apartment and you move into your own place for once. Um, it's a cool feeling to have that on your own and now it's your thing. And as the famous Mitch Hedberg once said, it's I don't need to go to the Home Depot. I go to the apartment depot because that's really just a bunch of people standing around going, "Hey, we ain't got to fix shit." And that's true. And then you move into a home and you're like, "Oh, damn, I got to do all this crap now." Um, yeah, the Santoku. I don't know the name of that shape. They usually call this a sheep's foot. I've seen this a lot. This style. Um, it's a pretty popular style. It's good. It's really good for just going through like small chopping stuff and vegetables. It's not a real rocking blade, obviously, because I tried to flatten this as much as straight as possible, so it doesn't really rock. But I like the sheep's hoof shape because it just, I don't know. I wanted to try one out. I've done some chef knives, and I thought doing something, to this shape would be kind of cool. But I'd never seen a knife with the raised back like this. Mostly all just straight running down. So I thought that this would be would be good for support. You know, you could sit your hand on there, and it does feel pretty good. The palm sits on it really nice. Um, but it's something I want to work with and see what happens. But Cutco knows what they're doing, so I wouldn't be surprised if, their shape was well refined and probably way better refined than mine. So I'm just a rookie. I'm still pretty new to this whole knife making deal. I haven't even been doing this for a year, and I took a good chunk of this year off to play baseball. So, but I'm enjoying it. I'm branching out, meeting people here on Twitch and YouTube and everything like that. So, this is visible on YouTube. So if you do want to check out the videos later, they are on YouTube. You can search for my YouTube channel, the In Your Head Podcast. This is streaming in all 3 locations now. We've got all the bugs worked out, all the kinks worked out. So you can check everything out there on YouTube. I broadcast it on my personal Facebook. I mostly do that for my friends who are too lazy to come over and check out it on Twitch. So I do it there so they don't have an excuse now. And also on YouTube. So YouTube's a cool little new thing that I wanted to do. I've been streaming on Twitch since I've been starting, and I wanted to branch out to some people on YouTube. And if you are watching on YouTube, feel free to chat. Your comments will show up that way, right there in the chat as well. But this thing's almost ready for heat treat. I do want to get it pretty straight, get the edge about ready before I heat treat it. I want to get it pretty close before I treat it. So I want to get this nice and straight. It's still a little wobbly, but it's not bad. And like I said, get this blemish in here out. God damn it, this thing's blowing breeze on me. It's chilly as hell down here. I should look up what a Santoku shape is. I think it's probably what you're talking about. I know it's a pretty common blade type. I just always call it the sheep's foot. That's what I've seen it called. So, a lot of knives do this, actually. I've seen, the first one I ever saw that was really nice was a Henkel knife. And it was a good piece of steel, and I worked it really nice and sharp for the people in that kitchen that I mentioned earlier. Because they wanted a really nice blade to use. So I made sure that sheep's foot knife was nice and sharp for them. God, I want 3 horsepower so bad. God, I may be buying the new grinder sooner than I think. Ugh. I'm putting it off a little bit, but I have a feeling I'm probably going to get that grinder soon, because I can't take this thing much longer. This thing just doesn't have the power I need to really just go through the metal anymore. I'm working this grinder really hard too. This motor is just not meant to be running this long. See, I'm barely even putting pressure on it and the thing's binding to a halt. Getting there. It's getting there. Whew. If you are out there, if you haven't said hello, or if you're just lurking, please feel free, say hello, drop a line in the chat. I love getting to hear from everybody. I try to keep up with the chat as best I can over there. When I'm grinding, it's a little harder because it's a little harder for me to look up. So. When I'm hammering, there's always that heat treatment. Well, I could put the. I was thinking of putting the stone back on there to have it try to do that, but I guess I took it off originally because of how long this thing takes to actually spin up. So I don't know if I had pondered that, but honestly, I just haven't gotten around to putting it back on yet. To be totally honest. So if I've been thinking about doing that, I'll have to try it and see if having the stone back on there keeps it going a little bit better. But this thing still doesn't have the power. It just doesn't. I mean, it's half a horse. You know, like a real good knife grinder that you'll see on like Forged in Fire, any of that stuff. Those grinders, they're 3 horses. Those things aren't lugging for nothing. Well, yeah, as much as I would probably love to destroy myself too bad, I think I probably would blow my shop up trying some crap like that. So, remember, I said my New Year's resolution was to not light myself on fire for 2020. Remember that. Minor scale burns do not count. It's like fully lighting my clothes or something on fire that I'm trying to prevent. And arm hair getting cooked off from getting too near things also doesn't count. Thank you. Yep, they are. They cost about that much. That's the grinder goal down there. So from from knife sales, donations, things like that, I'm putting towards it. So once I get to a good spot, once I get that donation goal met, I'm gonna buy one. So it's just a matter of time, basically. I just, I don't want to just go throwing my money at it. I'm trying to earn it bit by bit from sales of things and stuff like that. So, yeah, they run about, the one I'm looking at right now with a 3 horsepower fixed speed motor, the 2x72 with the frame, the motor, even a rest on this one, and whatever drive wheel. I think the 7-inch drive wheel comes to $1,100. So, yeah, they're expensive, but I think they're worth it. Oh, Jesus. That should be your primary concern. Um, Here's a recommendation for you. Get a dryer thing. I don't know what they're called. What the hell are they called? Those little dryer hoses, those little flexible dryer hoses that kind of they're like a big spring. Take that, put it over top of it, then run the other end, maybe a couple of them, wherever you're going to run it out to, and then like make like a cone that's on a fan, small or big, and then have that so that sucks the air away and sucks it up and in. And then runs through and then belches out, the fan out to wherever. Use a little box fan in a window and just have the dryer duct the duct I guess would be called, like onto the fan and then close it off on the fan so it just pulls all that air through. That's my recommendation. I don't have any real fumes from this one because of the propane, so I just pump the air in and I'm pretty much okay. I don't have any major issues. So Either that or actually install a good, you know, hood, fume hood. Blech. Words are tough. So, you know, it's, that's kind of why I didn't want to mess with coal, because I know I'd have to have an outside forge. I don't know if that's a good idea. I would recommend something pulling air. I really would. You need something that's going to pull that smoke and fumes out, not just let it try to do it. If you put the hose over top, with like something that expands to like a square thing, put that over top, and then this way, as the smoke comes up, that air pressure going out will pull it up, you know, into the hose and then send it out. That's what I would do, because I don't want to die. Not yet, anyway. Maybe if I do this for a few more years, I might want to, but... Getting there. Man, this thing's taking a while tonight, but it's way better than it was. It's actually it's tough because it so feels like nothing's happening when you get to this step. Like when you first put the knife on the grinder, it really just everything comes right off of it. I should have something to clean this off with. A little dust brush. No idea. But it just feels like it goes so fast when you first start, and then nothing. Then it's like, oh, everything stops. I feel like I want to order that damn grinder tomorrow. You know what? I think it's tool time. I think it is time to try out the counterweight. I'm going to turn my audio back up a little bit. Take out the plugs. Since this is my stream, I can do what I want. And I do want to try to fix this thing. Yeah, exactly. Something like that. I'm sure there's a ton of options. I just think that just letting hot air and fumes try to escape on their own is not your best bet. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm going to grab all the parts that I have for this thing. Oh, they're in this lovely box back here. I think everything's still in here. Oh, let's find out. Oh, it feels heavy enough to have a stone in it, that's for sure. It feels heavy enough to have 2 stones in it, which is what should be in this box. Yep. Oh, crap. Yeah, one small problem. I may not remember how to put this thing back together. I took a lot of stuff off of this. Oh, I may have fucked up. Okay, I'm going to unplug this before I have an accident. God damn, it's cold down here. Oh, man. I screwed this up. Okay, I got a box full of little bits. We got a box of bits. I'm going to bring that over. Let's see. These. They thread? Okay, those thread. So that may be for the guard. Okay, cool. So we're going to have some fun here today, guys. We're going to fix some shit. got wheel. So we have a wheel, which will fit right back on there. So we got to get the other parts that go onto this thing. Well, God knows I'm not going to find the manual. Let's see. Yeah, see, I'm telling you, Bed, you got to listen to some people on this one. You really don't want to just go out there just going crazy. You're gonna hurt yourself. Oh man, I gotta see if I can remember how this thing goes together. Well, that's not too bad. You just gotta be careful setting yourself up, man. Please don't hurt yourself. All right. These go on the outside. So I don't think those are for what I think they are. Okay. Whew, this thing's hot. So nope. That was if I needed it. I don't think I need this. Let me get a wrench, because I'm not hand tightening this. That's how bad shit happens. Oh, where's my big one? What the hell's in my pocket? That's a pipe wrench. There's a channel lock. You'll do. Okay. I mean, that seems like it'll hold. I took off all the guard and everything, so I just have to kind of not run into it, but... Poor thing is getting so hot right now. Starting to steam. Damn. Okay. Well, let's see if that fixes anything. If not, shit's coming right back off. It's gonna last all of 5 minutes. I thought that was gonna take longer. So turn that back down. Turn the audio down so you guys don't get hammered by the grinder. I hear you. Well, just be safe, that's all. Please be safe. And if something goes wrong, you don't know me. And I definitely didn't give you the idea of what to do. Take one. Takes way longer to spin up. Yeah, see, no, that's exactly what you're not supposed to say. It's still bogging down a bit. It's not helping a lot, unfortunately. Yeah, no, it's sadly not doing much. I'm still not pressing that much. I thought the idea would work. To be honest, EFH, I really thought it would have. I thought about the same thing, that having that on there would help keep it spinning up, but it seems to still just want to die on me. Once I get that 2x72, though, I think that projects and grinding is going to become a little more trivial and a little bit more enjoyable. Having the ability to have adjustable contact wheels, I think that's going to be huge. Because that's going to give me the possibility of doing things like this without having to get a file. Yeah, you don't want to put anything too powerful, you just cause a vacuum. But if you are watching from anywhere, please drop a line. If you're checking it out on Facebook, leave a comment. It'll show up here in the video and I'll be able to reply. If you're watching on YouTube, same thing. Leave a comment on the live stream, and your comment will pop up, and I will reply to you in live time, or as live as this is. I know there's a little bit of latency, but that's kind of the thing about the restream. So I apologize for that. If there is a little bit of latency issues. When I see it is basically when it shows up in the video, so that's when I see the comments. Well, when I look up at my computer screen, which is to my right, that's when I see your comments. They pop up, and then I look over eventually. This thing's almost there. I'm getting happier with it. It just needs to go on a diet. I think that's the only issue with this thing, is it just needs a diet. It's a little too big to get the fine edge that I really want. Like this could be a good chopper right now. Like it could, it's got some some heft to really kick ass, but I don't really want it to be a chopper. I want it to be a cool, kitchen knife. Well, this isn't a bad way to go, EFH. I'll be honest with you with this thing. That's scary. When I reach down to get that, I'm gonna hit myself on that. This thing here is called, it's called the multi-tool. You can get it from Centaur Forge, centaurforge.com. You can attach it to any bench grinder that's over half a horsepower, and it's 2x36, so very common belt types, and does a really good job. You get a bench grinder for dirt cheap, obviously, and this thing costs around $200. It's good. I mean, if you can't get yourself a 2x72, this thing does move some metal. As much as I'm complaining, I'm mostly complaining because I know there's better out there. I know there's bigger, stronger, better. So I'm like, oh man, I want a better one. So, but if you don't have space or you don't have money, if you check out one of these on Centaur Forge, it's just called a multi-tool. I don't know where it is on their site, but it comes with a whole bunch of bolts and nuts and shit, and you put it onto any bench grinder. The weird thing is that it is set up backwards. Obviously, here's the power and everything up front. So you're thinking, I set it up this way because I'd rather have the belt going this way because it's only flat. Because if it's going this way and coming towards me, if it gets caught and I'm in the sharpening mode, I don't want a pointy knife coming at me. I'd rather have it get thrown out of my hands. So I had to do some jury rigging to get it, this way. Because it's normally supposed to be put on that side. I got creative with it to make it work. But other than that, I highly recommend it. It's decent. It does take some metal off. The contact wheel's decent, but it's about that round. So, it's not tight. It's not like a tight little radius. So doing things like that, I can't get that kind of radius. I actually had to hand file all this to get that the way I wanted it. So that's a small problem. And if you have something that does it, you're set. But I'd recommend picking it up. If it saves you the space, go for it. And saves the money. Sorry, my phone's blowing up over here. I could just do it on the stone. No way am I touching that on there. At least now I have something on here to test for high carbon. Well, I mean, it's what I'm using. The setup's not too hard. So, if that's your situation and, if it's too expensive or too big, I would say go for it. If you have a bench grinder, or hell, you can get a bench grinder anywhere. I would say give it a shot, frankly. I'm really, like I said, I'm just complaining because I just want, because I'm grinding on stream. If I was just grinding down here by myself or whatever, it might not be so bad. But when I'm grinding on stream, I don't want to waste 3 streams grinding for you guys. Nobody wants to see that. So, I'd rather grind quicker and get the stuff done because it's all live. So I can't really, I can't edit it out. Grinding's part of the process. Well, the Harbor Freight stuff's not bad. Those little guys aren't bad. They'll do the job if you get good belts. And if you go to Red Label Abrasives, they do have really good belts. They're very good belts. You can probably get them in the sizes as long as you get the ceramic belt. They'll move metal. They'll last long. The ceramic belts that Red Label Abrasive has, they kick ass. They really do. So I would highly recommend them. Uh, so, and they have every belt size. Holy crap, do they have every belt size. But it's true, though, just don't skimp on the belt quality. If you get the ceramic belts, they will last much longer. They will take off much more material per belt. It is way more than worth it. I got my Harbor Freight welder hiding right back there. So Harbor Freight stuff ain't too bad. I think what I've realized is Harbor Freight stuff is good if you're just using it and kicking around with it once in a while. It's not the best stuff to last you like if you're working with it every day. It's not the best for that because it will burn out. So that's my opinion on it. Like most of the stuff I have that's Harbor Freight is great to use once in a while in the shop, but it just doesn't hold up for everyday stuff. Handle's got to go on a diet too. Man, I'm actually starting to get really hungry now. Here we go. We'll do this. It's 3D experience time now. I haven't done this for you guys in a while since I don't use the contact wheel very often. So we'll do some 3D spark throwing. Coming right at the camera. Hot. Actually, it's not hardened yet, so you don't really get the good spark. A lot of counterweight on the backside here too. That kind of takes some of the weight off. I may have to call it an early stream. I think I gotta get something to eat. I am starting to feel it. Oh, nice. See, some of the old good stuff is good. You know, I just got the what is it? It's the titanium 125. It's a good little welder. Does the job. I don't really plan on doing any structural stuff, so I think that so long as I don't plan on doing that kind of stuff in the near future, most of the welding I'll be doing will be for Damascus, things like that. So I won't really have to worry about the welds staying on forever. Once the piece starts to, once the piece is forge welded, I want that other crap to fall off. I want the forge welds to just go away. So, or not the forge welds, but the machine welds to go away. So, you know. So sorry for the short stream, guys, but I have to get something to eat. I really do need to. But maybe I will try to hop on a little later this evening. Oh, stick welding. Yeah. See, I don't know how to do that yet. I don't even barely know how to use the TIG welder. So I'm not that good. So I'm trying to learn still. But oh god, I'm a mess. Where is that broom? I got a brush around here somewhere. I don't know what I do with it. Uh, I'm gonna try to come back on later tonight. But I do definitely need to get something to eat. So oh, metal all over me. So but yeah, thank you guys for hanging around. I appreciate it. For those of you who don't know, I do try to stream every Tuesday and Thursday. And hopefully, if I come back on later, I'll catch some of you guys on, and I'll do a little bit more grinding, and maybe anything else I can get done. So, thank you guys again, and I will catch you guys all real soon. Take care.